morning. Welcome to Fallawsophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw, and I am sorry that I was late. The dog would not go back inside. Okay. So that was a problem. But here we are. Okay. So, wow. So today I have some new Jentel that I asked about this morning. We've got some other Jentel that I want to put on this show that we got in the last couple days. And then we have lots of coffee. So thank you everyone for showing up. Let's get into it. Okay. On 3/23, and this is in regards to the RV, I got that on my Fallawsophy show, and that is on, you could be viewing this show from there now, Jennifer Fallaw, Fallawsophy with Jennifer Fallaw on Rumble. And that was on 3/23, Sunday evening. I asked Gabriel some questions, and I heard budget tables, Iraq, public announcement tomorrow, which would have been Monday, lease agreements, and the RV is progressing. Rate and notifications for Tier 4B was expected between Monday and Thursday, really Monday and Friday, because after that I heard 3/28. Slow movement is because of the traffic in and through Reno. But they are currently funding treasuries. Interdimensional meditation for 3/24/25, Monday. 6th level of heaven. So this was kind of amazing. It was awesome. So I was in a hurry that morning, like I am every morning. And so I had like 20 minutes to get the meditation done. And so I went into meditation, and I'm running down this hill to get to my field next to my tree. And wasn't thinking about what I was wearing. I wasn't thinking about anything. And when I got down there, I was going to call Jesus and the Archangel team and all that. So I'm running down the hill, and as I'm moving, I see the sleeve of my dress, and it's yellow. And everybody knows, if they know the stories, that yellow in our chat groups has become, because of my shows and my stories, code for it's happening. Okay. So then I get down there in front of the tree to the field, and everybody's like laughing and celebrating. And Jesus looks at me and takes me by the shoulders and says, "Congratulations, you've made it." And I'm like me personally, or like, and he said, "Between now and this weekend, you will get notifications to exchange." And, of course, I was dumbfounded and like, I mean, it's like we're expecting that. We've been expecting that many times, but when Jesus does that to you, you're like, did I just make that up? I mean, I wasn't even, but the reason why, and all these years doing these meditations, that I know I probably didn't make that up, is because I wasn't thinking about that at all. I mean, I was thinking about getting information about the RV, but I was not expecting that. And when something happens that you're not expecting in this kind of meditation, you need to listen. And then I just looked at Gabriel like, I said, "Is this really happening?" And he said, "Yes, they signed off." They signed off. What's going on with my hair today? And I asked, "Is there anything that can stop this?" And he's like, "No, only delay, maybe a day, but not likely for long. The world is about to change." So this morning, I asked some questions. This is more like an auto writing, sitting here with my spiral notebook and asking questions. Yeah, hair is totally messed up today. So I asked about the tier 3 progress, because we're at a point where that's happening, and he said upper levels have. So apparently there's levels to tier 3. Wasn't aware of that. Upper levels have paperwork and can see balances. Liquidity will come one by one. I assume that's per client. I don't know if it's per levels that he was talking about. I'm not really sure if tier 3 has levels, but that's what I'm getting from what he said. He said there's a mountain of transactions and paperwork to process in that tier, and that is underway. Now, I was asking about, okay, so what comes first, notifications or a street rate in Iraq? And that's what we've never been able to figure out, if we actually need that. He said street rate in Iraq is published in private documents, screens, or places that allow the other tiers to be processed. So it's there. And I said, the public announcement, or he said, the public announcement of the street rate in Iraq may be, or I'm thinking this, may be to trigger tier 5. That's what I was thinking, so I wrote it down. The speed at which the treasuries of the U.S. and other countries can process the transactions will determine how quickly 4B notifications appear. Estimate now is probably 327, 328. Or anytime now between now and 328. Just depends on how well it goes. So, where we are right now, it's happening. It's just how long it takes to get all the work done that the treasuries and everybody else has to do before they can handle the giant project that is tier 4. So that is happening. But apparently, I mean, we could see a rate come out. I'm not quite sure, but I'm thinking maybe we don't actually have to have one. I mean, could they send us notifications? Get tier 3 done, send us notifications. We get our appointments done for 4B or tier 4. Then Iraq publishes a public rate, and then it kicks off all the other public rates in other countries. And then it does something to the value of our dollar, and then we have to go to gold. And that's when our announcement comes, and then that kicks off tier 5. Either way, we're moving, and we're expecting our turn anytime now. So, all good news there. Thoughts over coffee. I have notes everywhere. Let me see if I can try to put this together. Not really sure what I'm trying to say here, but I just keep getting guidance to talk about this subject. Okay. On Sunday night's show, we were talking about self-healing, recharging our battery, raising our vibration, how we could do that physically, how we could assist ourselves and put God in the position of being the med bed, but being a participant in that. Oh, I get how this ties in. Okay. So the reason that it's important in self-healing that we participate in that. And it's not just prayer. Prayer, very effective. Just if you get a lot of people praying for you at once, very effective in creating a healed state. But we can participate within that healing and that change. And why is that important? Because of free will. In the beginning, we're all pieces of God. Okay? And in the beginning, when God separated himself and chose to have experience and not be all knowledge, but also to accumulate experience, he chose to make pieces of himself. And those pieces of himself, he was given all the abilities that he has. Free will. Free will is the basis of conscious creation. Because every piece of God is God. And you cannot take that away and still create an environment and a situation and make choices to have different experience so that he could truly be all-knowing. Okay? So when we take a look at it and we're trying to do this healing for ourselves, and I tell you, you got to eliminate the doubt for that moment. You have to let it happen. We need to take a look at our free will. The ability to choose whether we keep negative energy, negative thought patterns, negative ideas, negative programming within our mind and make it part of our reality is our ability to choose. We have the ability to choose so. Okay? One of the reasons why people get so mad at you for believing in hope and change and conspiracy theories and all that, and the RV and everything else, is because they are resistant to letting go of things they chose to embrace or believe as part of their reality. So, free will is never taken away. It is something that you always have. And your free will, as far as creation goes, is God's will. Now, when you pray for assistance, you pair up with the bigger piece of God, the center of the bullseye, that the unmoved mover that holds the thought of creation, holds everything in place, and he has to be there. And the power of that creation is stronger. You get assistance. So, when we're talking about creating healing within ourselves, as a piece of God, you are constant. You have the light of creation at the center of your being. They call it life force energy. I call it the seventh element, the element that houses all others. There's nothing outside of it that is needed to create anything. It is all there. So when we're trying to do this conscious, it's really conscious creation. It is self-healing. We want to pair up with God. It's not going to be as effective if you don't do that, because you are a very small piece of him. And within you, from the moment you got here, you suffered amnesia, and you have to. So we have to remember that we came into this reality, into this life, to be who we are now. Doesn't matter what your original origin was. It doesn't matter where your soul chose to incarnate most. It doesn't matter if you're Pleiadian or an angel or a human or whatever. You are human now, and you are here, and you chose to come here now to be human now and to have this human experience. So we always want to stay grounded within our reality that we've created for ourselves. We have to maintain a balance. You can't be so flighty that you're off in other dimensions or you're off in other ways of thinking, and you're completely, because this reality that you've created for yourself is just too hard to take. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We're going to be okay with being us. We're going to accept where we are right now. And just stop for a moment in time and take a look around at everything. Yes, things happen beyond our control. But the way that when we choose to hold on to the pains or the worries or the fears or the programming, that is our choice. It is. Most of the people that came into our lives and hurt us, unless we chose to have them in our life. Whether you chose for them to come in before you came here, when you were planning your life, or if you chose along the way. And we have to accept that. And if someone is hurting us, or if someone, if our life is so miserable because of all these other people, then we have to take a look at that. Is this somebody I want to continue to have in my life and to continue to suffer from? Am I choosing to allow this person to have so much power over me in my own mind when they have no idea that they have power over me? Am I choosing to make too much of a big deal about this person and what they think? Am I caring too much about what everybody else thinks? And is that controlling me? Is that controlling, like, especially if you have an illness, is that what the doctor and everybody around you thinks is going to happen to you? Controlling or chipping away at the creation of the healed state I'm trying to create. Do they have power to do that? No. Only you do in your mind. So we have to start dumping the negative thought processes and the beliefs and everything else, but still remain grounded within our reality, remain rational. We have to maintain a balance of that, being rational, having hope, having faith. But you're kind of like, Jesus says, be like the child. Okay? And that is true. Because a child has not yet been programmed to believe that they can or can't see or create or do anything, really. There are certain things that they've observed along the way, but when they come in, it's total amnesia. Blank slate. You've got certain things that you remember are going to come through according to what you planned in this life. Certain things, like fear of loud noises, falling, things like that, to keep you safe. But most of it's all programming. You are a product of your environment. So, if you notice, when you have positive thoughts, like, I'm going to heal from this. Even if everybody says that I won't. I'm going to heal from this. We need to change the way that we talk in our mind. This is my will. And so what is that? Word of God. Very strong. This is what I choose to experience. So when we pair up in prayer and pull the life force energy, the light of God into our bodies when we're doing the healings, we really want to believe. And we want it, and so eliminate the negative thought patterns, the limitations, the can'ts, the voices in your mind and your memories of what other people said. Eliminating that is like pulling rocks out of the stream or unclogging a flow on a pipe. You've got all these twigs and leaves and everything blocking this pipe. How much is trickling out at the end? Not much. The body, the soul is always telling the body what to be and what to do. And if the conscious mind believes something so strongly, it's going to get in the way of that healing, that cell replication. If you get toxins in your body, that's going to get in the way. negative thoughts, all these things. So we're going to have to start we want to try and be a clean vehicle, especially mentally, to allow the creation of a healed state to take place. So what I taught the other night was to sit on your bed. You could do this if you want to relieve negative energy. Cancer, you want to bring cancer, any foreign invader is actually, with this kind of healing, pretty easy to get unless you wrote in your path to die from it. If that's how you plan to exit and when. But if you didn't, and you state to God, it is my free will to stay here. I'm not leaving now. I choose to create this healing. This is my will. Those kinds of words in your head are very powerful for creation. So the amount of energy you give a vehicle or a machine or anything is going to determine its output. All right. So when we have the negative thoughts in there, so positive energy creates, negative energy destroys. And we end up with some kind of reality and some kind of experience somewhere in the middle. So we want to eliminate as much as that if we can. At night, or whenever you have time, as many times a day as you want to, don't spend your whole life doing this. We still have to function within the reality we've created. Let's not all go crazy and, okay. But whenever you hit a minute, nobody needs to know what you're doing. You say, God, send me your light. As a piece of God, you're always pulling it in certain amounts. You have the ability to do so. We're going to pull in more. I want you to imagine this beam of light coming down through the top of your head and filling you up at the core here, solar plexus, and filling the whole body till you are like this light being, just blindingly bright. Now, if you've got foreign invaders, virus, bacterial infection, tumors, cancer, anything like that, parasites, what I do is I bring this light brighter, 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 brighter. And at some point, it gets to a point where it looks almost gel-like in it, and you can see the iridescent colors in there, and it just kind of gels, and you can see it just kind of swirling. That's when it's going to fry the foreign invaders. That's when you give it a command. I just say, like, eliminate cancer cells. Kill all the virus. You don't think about it too much. Just say what you want to accomplish. What is happening now? What we've pulled in the energy to do. The energy is intelligent. It will do it. Now, if we're doing this consciously, your soul is always trying to repair itself. The body is always trying to repair itself and does. The time it takes to do so and the ability that it has to do so depends on the amount of energy that you put into it to do it. That's what the med beds do. That is why you can't go in there as a 6-foot black man and tell him you want to be a 4'5", I don't know, Asian woman. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to be the best version of you according to what is housed in your energy field and your physical DNA, which I think the energy field creates the physical energy DNA. But so when we do this, we bring the light in. You can just sit there and cleanse the negative energy away. And just imagine this mist going back up into the white light of the Holy Spirit. You can cleanse away the toxins. If you're trying to lose weight, it's weird, but the light, and this freaked me out for a while when I was doing the weight loss tellings, but the light, the color of the light to dissolve fat cells is red. And I didn't like that because I didn't like anything red. Catholic. I didn't like anything red. I don't like 666. I don't like anything like that. So I'm like, red. That's it. Is that okay? I mean, is that okay to put in there? And then after that, I don't know, a year or so after that, I saw all these ads coming out for red light therapy for weight loss. I'm like, oh, it is. It is. So you can do that. I always put the white light in first. If you think you have a thyroid problem, or if you just want to do the whole thing. You say, let this body be clean. Now, we're going to pick apart what happens in our mind when we're doing this. Now, if you were to say to yourself, or say out loud, I'm going to win the lottery, boom, immediately there's a voice that says, no, you won't, or what if you don't? Most people, when they say things, they're so afraid of being wrong because we've been conditioned to be afraid to be wrong. We've been graded on it our entire life. There's been terrible consequences for being wrong. Get bad grades in school, do bad on a test, you're in trouble with your parents, you're in trouble with the school if you make the wrong decision. I mean, we are so afraid to be wrong and the consequences of that we won't allow ourselves to positively create much. So even if somebody feels initially sure that, yes, this is healing me, yes, the pain is subsiding, yes, immediately they'll sabotage it with, how is that possible? And that question of how is that possible is, maybe it's not possible. Maybe I'm imagining this. Maybe I'm making it up. That's the programming. I'm not just talking about like music and movies and everything. This is every moment that you have experienced since the moment you opened your eyes here on earth, and maybe what you were listening to when you were in the womb, as soon as the soul entered here. We're going to move into a new world. We're going to move into a new place where we're not stuck in the same old boxes. Then we need to change the way we think. We need to try to be in peace amidst chaos. And how do you do that? You change your perspective. I remember my dad was an artist. He used to teach me perspective. And he was talking, he drew this picture with telephone poles. And the further you are away from something, the smaller it seems. But if you're standing right next to the pole, it's very tall. But all of the poles are the same size. Okay? Your opinion of the size of something, or it depends on your perspective. If you shift your perspective, you shift your perception. All right? So if we're stuck in this endless cycle of fear, which humanity has been stuck with, because the body gets damaged, because the body feels pain, because the body needs to eat and needs to sleep and needs to be housed and needs to do everything. There's a certain, society over time. You have to act a certain way and do certain things so that you don't die, okay, and you don't get hurt. So everybody's been telling you your whole life, don't do this, don't do that, be terribly afraid of everything so that you don't get hurt. And we have taken that idea and put it into every thought that we have. And so we're sabotaging most everything that we think, because behind it, there is a negative thought that says, you meet somebody and like, oh, okay. Oh, we've been hurt before. Yeah, that sucked. Really bad. That was really bad. Maybe I'll never love anybody again, just so I don't get hurt. Okay, well, your soul at the center of your being is made of love. And that would be very damaging to you. That would be harder to achieve than taking the leap to trust somebody else again. At least for me, it would. So maybe I'll never live again. Maybe I won't go out. Maybe I won't do anything, just so that I can stay safe and I won't be hurt. Maybe I won't take the medication. Anyway, I know, don't get on me about medications, but let's say there is a medication that could help you, or a supplements that could help you. But maybe I won't take that because I'm afraid that maybe it'll hurt me instead. Maybe I won't get in a med bed because I'm afraid it's going to turn me into a zombie or something. Maybe I'm so insecure with myself that I'm going to sabotage my own marriage and accuse my mate of cheating on me and everything else that I can think of that scares me, that I'm so sure of when they're not really doing it, and create that situation or destroy the positive bond that we have because my fear chipped away at it and that person finally gave in. We have to control our thoughts. And the easiest way to do that is to be the optimist. You can't run around and say, I'm moving into 5D, whatever that is, or I am love, or I am light, or I am a child of God. We need to start acting like it. And that doesn't mean that you talk a certain way and you wear a certain kind of clothes, or you go to a certain church or whatever it is. Love is love. Positive energy is positive energy. It will lead you and guide you to do the things that are good for you and for everybody around you. That's why I say, that's why you're told to love God with all your heart and all your soul. Because when you're centered in a state of love, there's not a lot of room for hate, and there's that relationship grows, and there, from that belief, you ask for things, and you see the things that God is doing for you in your life, but you have to recognize them, But if you see the things that God's doing in your life, and then you allow more of that in, and you have this close relationship, you have more hope, and you have more love. And you become a cleaner and cleaner vehicle because there isn't a lot of room for negative thought there. Fear there are two polar opposites in our reality: fear and love, creation and destruction. And from those two things, we have all the other emotions. Okay. Be love. Resist fear. Resist the negative, and you'll start pulling those twigs and those leaves and those branches out of that pipe that is fueling you, that is draining into you from the divine. So we want to bring that light in, we want to give it a command, and then we want to stop sabotaging the creations with the negative thoughts that come afterwards. Okay? If you want to sit there for a long time with that light within you and just raise the vibration and give that body a recharge, just like plugging in your phone, that's what you're doing. Do that. Okay. So, now free will. Is the ability to choose, and that is the basis of conscious creation. The divine, good spirits, God, Jesus, the archangels, everybody that is good, loving, and they do not interfere with your free will. They will never tell you you have to do anything. So if you hear anything like that, and you have to leave your family and sell everything you own and drive off into the hills, and no, you created that. God didn't tell you to do that. You did that because you're tired of everybody and you want to run away. Or you're mentally ill. That wasn't God. They're never going to tell you to do anything negative like that. They're not going to tell you to hurt people. God is the highest of vibration, the center of everything. Darkness, fear, negativity, hate, revenge, jealousy, none of those things can exist there because the vibration of those emotions are very, very low. It's like throwing a drop of water in boiling oil. It's going to pop right out. It won't stay there. So the true good angels, archangels, Jesus and God, they do not interfere with your free will. Why? Because they know that you are a piece of God, and so are they. And that your choices, your free will, is God's will. Because it's God, a little piece of God, having an experience through you right now. Because he had to, because he can't leave the middle. He can't. The thought of creation must be held by him as the biggest piece in the middle, or all is lost. It'll all go back into the hole again. Okay. So the dark side, we all come in with amnesia into lifetime after lifetime. It's only natural that some of those pieces will have become corrupted over time and choose to believe lies and choose to be mad and choose to embrace that hate and that anger and everything else, and then choose to believe the lie that God does not exist, or to hate God, to turn away from him. Then you experience those souls that become demons and bad guys. That is their free will. They chose the actions, the reactions, the choices all along the way, lifetime after lifetime, and the soul has become more and more corrupt and darkened, and they cannot create. Why is it hard for us to create? Because of all the programming, like a veil over the entire dimension, over the world, blocking a certain amount of light. The dark side created that. It's an energetic veil. How much of that are you creating in your life? We need to eliminate that. We need to say no. They know that they have to get you to agree because you are a piece of God. They will deceive you. They will try to convince you that everything good is bad and everything bad is good. They are sneaky about it. They'll put subliminal messages in your music. They will use your emotion to get you to believe things in a movie. And I see it all over the place. Embrace the villain and cast the good guys as bad guys and have empathy for the villain. Well, you know what? We have empathy for everyone. But sometimes people are just villains and they deserve to be, looked at like villains. So they'll do that. They're sneaky, subliminal messages. Somehow, some way, they want your soul to agree that this is what we believe right now. That is true. So there's stuffing more twigs, more leaves in your pipe that's coming from God, your energetic flow that nourishes your body, okay? We are in ground zero, this dimension. It is a common ground dimension. It wasn't supposed to be. I think that this was originally one of the levels of heaven. They broke in. They have to use humanity to do their bidding because they cannot create. They will use you to destroy God's creation. And they'll make every effort to mock and diminish the beauty that is God's creation. And get you to believe that is good. Some of the most good-hearted people will believe the programming because they want to be a good person. They want to do everything right. Or out of fear, they want to jump on the bandwagon so that they are part of, the norm, and they don't get criticized. We have to go ahead and believe that it's you and God on a journey. Okay? As you. That's why. Not anybody. He hears every thought. That's why there is no disconnection. You don't have to invite him in. He is already there. The only way he is not there is if you deny him openly and mean it. Cast him out and he's still there. But now his experience is okay, you just said that you choose to have an experience where you don't experience the healing and you're not a creator and you're not connected and you don't have the guidance and your life is just miserable now. We are helped and healed and in so many ways that we don't even recognize. So, what time is it? What we can do with this is we can do the self-healing. In that moment and directly after, believe it. Let it happen. Any negative thought that pops up like, well, maybe this isn't. No. State your will. This is real. I am clean. I am healed. And what I do is I say, in the name of Jesus Christ and God the Father, I am healed. One thing we can do emotionally to try to get back, because we get stuck in these ruts. Everybody does it. I do it. Especially emotional empath people. We have a hard time with this. Terribly hurt by other people. Okay? And then you just get in this funk. And you're like, am I depressed? I mean, me personally, I have depressed days, but I don't stay there for long. I pull myself out of it. One way you can pull yourself out of that is most of the time we have this dialogue running in our head. And other people own our opinion of ourselves, how well we're doing, what we should be doing now, what class are we in? Am I a loser? Am I a winner? Have I done a good job? Is this enough? I'll do that to myself just because of the way I was raised, like, oh my God, you haven't gotten to that pile in the corner that you were organizing something and you left it there. Now it's a big mess and you haven't done it. Day after day, you haven't gotten to that pile in the guest room or whatever it is. It sits there and like as if my mother's going to walk in and tell me that I haven't been doing my job. I'm not doing a good job around there. So there's a little bit of pang of stress there. Okay, stress, something undone. Have to get it done. Have to get it done. Have to get it done. Most of the time we don't get something done. Oh, I didn't have time. I didn't have to. Oh yeah, we did. We just chose at that moment. Well, it's probably better for me to sleep right now than to go do that. But the base thought of that, of taking care of something, is I don't want to do that right now. Every time. Every time. When you think about going into a relationship or getting a job or whatever, there's all these people in our life that own our identity. Our boss, our parents, some ex that doesn't even think about us anymore. All these people, we have to identify who these people are and what are you really doing to yourself. And if you carry this like lump in your throat stress all the time, That's one of the things that we can get rid of right away. Okay. So the best way to get rid of that is just to we want to make positive statements in our mind. Our free will. All my choices are mine. No one owns my identity. I cut the cords of attachment, and just imagine all these cords, snap back like rubber bands to everybody you love. Doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. Doesn't mean you don't care. Just means that in your mind, something's going on that's keeping you down. Okay? One way we can shift our perspective, originally was given to me by Archangel Uriel, is called 3 Steps to Center. I've done that many times on shows. I'm going to take a piece of that, and we're going to call it the warm and fuzzies exercise. Okay? So, sometimes when things, and we've gone through a hard time for many years now, when things get to a place where they're pretty dark, or, just like when they suck, all right? And you're just like, I'm not very happy right now. I haven't been very happy for a while. I would much rather be doing this, and that, but I have to. That word have to is a very control. You control yourself with that. You imprison yourself when you say, I have to go to work. I have to do this. You choose to go to work. You chose to make that appointment. You chose to have that schedule. If you shift your perspective to this is something that I chose to do, now it's not so bad. Well, maybe this is something I want to do. And if it's something that you want to do, then maybe you'll have a better time doing it. Okay. So the warm and fuzzies exercise, what we're going to do. Okay. Oh, see phone. Okay. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, okay, the note's in the phone. See phone. Hang on. All right. In life, we've had many pains, right? But we have also had many joys. There are many things that we like, things that bring us comfort, the warm and fuzzy feelings. So we're going to focus on when we feel like we're just getting to a place where we start saying things like, what's the point? I mean, is there ever going to be any happiness? I mean, this, I'm just going to go back to bed. We start getting there. We want to shift our perspective. We want to start focusing our thoughts and just start making a mental list of everything that is like a warm and fuzzy for you. Everything that makes you feel comforted and happy. Foods, sights, interactions, memories that you had, things that you could do. And don't start with I really like chocolate and I can totally eat chocolate right now, but I'm on a diet, so I can't do that. Can't, have to. We don't want to use those words much anymore because it states that something else is in control of that decision. Not us, but we are. I choose to be on a diet right now. Why? Because I want to be thin. That was my idea. Even if you've got a medical condition, I can't eat that. You could eat that. I choose not to eat that because I don't like the reaction or how my body feels when I do that. I don't want to die. So, even on diets, everything else, if we change the way we word things in our mind, I choose to eat this salad with meat on it instead of, the pizza. That's what I want right now. See how easy it becomes. So we're going to warm and fuzzy exercise. Just in your mind, start making a mental list. You can do this when you're driving. You just drift off for a minute, but just remember to go back to it every time you feel yourself thinking negatively about your current situation. All right. I want you to start making a mental list. For me, it would be clothes right out of the dryer. Get up in the morning, the house is clean, the coffee's already made, smells wonderful, got my favorite creamer. Lovely cup of coffee, walk outside. So just start running these scenarios in your head. Everything that makes you feel comfortable. Walk outside. Beautiful sunny day with white puffy clouds. Temperature is perfect. Anything that you like. Anything, and it could be the smallest thing. Throwing something into the trash can, it just goes, makes it right in. Just anything. Anything that brings you comfort. We're going to start making these mental lists, and we're going to focus on that for a while, because what that does is it keeps you busy. And you're not thinking about those negative things. You're not thinking about those fears. If we think of something and then we immediately say, well, I really love, I don't know. I love swimming. What if I drown? No. We're not going to think that. We're just going to think about how the water feels on our skin when we're hot and we get in the cool water, and how it feels to be weightless. And we're going to, just everything that you love. We're going to focus and spend time thinking about those things, because all the time that you spend thinking about those things, you're not thinking the negative thoughts. And what happens to your body? It relaxes. We rarely ever fully relax unless we're unconscious. And then we're running a dream, and it's probably a stress dream, and we're not relaxed then. In order to heal and to make the best of that healing experience, you're going to want to try to be the cleanest vehicle you can. You're going to, especially if you're doing it for others, you're going to want to try to not chip away at that healing with the negative thought processes. We are no longer going to let the dark side own our perception or our creation. And people talk about, suddenly it's going to turn to 5D and everybody's just going to be heaven on earth and that's going to happen. That is not going to happen. Okay? Everything in this reality, in existence itself, moves. There is a process. It takes a body, has to go through the process to heal. You are not going to suddenly catapult all the good ones who made it there into a place where they can exist without the negative, without all the inhabitants of that place creating that. So if you're out there telling everybody you're so high vibrational and you're so 5D and they're so 3D, you're not, because you're telling them that you're stuck in a place of ego and judgment, and those are low vibrational emotions. And if you're voicing that, you got a long way to go. This is why we're told to stay humble. Okay? We don't want to embrace any of this negative. Everything that Jesus, if you take a look at what I'm saying, it's everything that Jesus taught us to do. In different words. Okay? And people ask me, so what are you? What are you, a medium? What are you, a healer? What are you? Well, a little bit of all of you. A little bit of everything. You know what I am? I signed up to be Jesus' disciple. Nothing that I do is outside of those categories. Jesus' disciples, he taught them they're supposed to administer to the people, guide, counsel, teach. They're supposed to perform healings. And they're supposed to cast out the demons. And nothing that I do does anything other than that. It's just my way of doing it. Same teachings. There's nothing evil, wrong, weird about it. I'm trying to teach you. I'm learning along with you, of course. To remember who you really are. To snap out. You're not going to snap out of it completely. To snap out of the amnesia that we have been in and the created amnesia that the dark side and the programming has created, and start to be who we really are here, right now. And I got to get going. But in the beginning, when I started talking to the angels, it was kind of like auto writing because I was writing books at the time. And one of the things, I drew this angel on the side of the page. I believe I was talking to Gabriel. And what I wrote down, just one word at a time, just as it popped into my head, I just wrote it down. Just brainstorming, but it just turned into something else. And I asked him, why are you telling me these things? And he said, because you chose to believe in infinite possibilities, which is my motto and has been from the beginning. And that is where we reside. Well, I used to think he was talking about him, like heaven. Oh, that's right. Angels are over in heaven, and that's infinite possibilities, and anything can happen over there. Or is it? He was talking we, him, and I. And everybody's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Over in heaven, we're just a wisp. We're see-through. We don't have a body. You have a body. Perspective. Perspective. When you look into another dimension from this one, like all the humans have, to write all the religious texts, when you view a spirit, your perspective is going to determine how solid that spirit is. You're standing right here, right now. You are here. Here you are solid. And so is everything else. And when you get over to heaven, there you are solid. But here we believe that the fact that we perceive everything as solid is that it cannot change at all. Over there, they know better and can travel at the speed of thought because they don't have anything in the way of the high concentration of that God's life force energy. They're not living in this place where they've got this veil over the planet or the dimension. They're not programmed over there to believe all these negative things. We have been under attack since the moment that we got here. Humanity itself. So if you really want to positively create, you're going to have to I reject all evil. And just awareness. People have been talking about awareness forever. What am I really thinking of? What is really stressing me out right now? I mean, even in my time off, I notice this in myself. Oh, I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. It's like, why is my time off cleaning the house? Why is that my entertainment? Why? Because when I grew up, my mother said, well, you're really not a good woman unless you have a clean house and everything looks pretty and it's all decorated and you've provided everything, and you're cooking this and cleaning that and you're organizing this and that. That comes from my programming. So I like everything clean. But it causes me stress. It does. Trying to keep up with everything. Trying to be everything. All right, so I'm running out of time. Oh my God, let me look at my schedule. Hang on. Darn it. It's just like a total rushing mess today. My hair, everything. I don't care. I'm like making all these notes like a crazy person. I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to do my hair. And then I get another idea. And I got another idea. So clearly there's something important about this. Oh, I haven't told 11. I'm not done yet. Cool. We've been told all these things over and over and over in religion, in spirituality, over and over again. But what the dark side will do is they will put out this programming that says, just like with medicine, that's why everybody wants a drug. Originally, it was all natural medicine. And then why did that change? Well, because some guy figured out how to become rich, control the media, found out how to make chemicals from oil or petroleum, sent people out on an expedition to find cures for things. They brought it back. Yes, if you combine this plant and this, bee pollen or whatever it is, we have a cure for this. And they said, great, now go make me a synthetic so we can make money off of it. The body doesn't know what to do with it. It will create a reaction, but it doesn't truly heal. Unless it's like antibiotics that are killing something that's within you. But the programming went out in the newspapers and everywhere that they started calling people that were selling tonics and create stories. Oh, somebody took this tonic and it was poison, and these people are crazy. It's all, they're witch doctors. They'll give them all these names, and it's not as good. It's not as effective as a drug, and so that's what people think now. You have to go to a doctor. You have to go to somebody who was classically trained, who was classically programmed. And that's why people believe you have to go to doctors and everything, when a lot of things used to be healed at home a long time ago. It is that way with everything. And we know that to be true. By the way, how language changes over time. The slang. With each generation, it changes. What's cool, what's not cool, what's beautiful, what's not beautiful. Just the decoration in the home, my God. Go back to the 70s for a minute and it just looks hideous to you. But then we see, you can kind of see who's in control of those markets of fashion, music, movies. If you start seeing them making a lot of sequels or remakes of movies, old fashions coming back from other eras, you can kind of tell who's in charge of that. Because the dark side cannot create anything new. They have to use a creator to make something new. Okay? And if they can't find any good creators that will agree, they got nothing new. So they go back and just redo everything over and over again. So, shift your perspective. Another thing, you're like, well, how can I shift my perspective? It is what it is. I see it the way I see it. I like what I like. Okay. All right. Listen, this is how your perspective can change, or your perception can change because of your perspective. So when the kids were little, it was a lovely time. I wish I'd go back there. Anyway, so we lived in this Leave It to Beaver neighborhood. I mean, and all the parents would come out, and the kids are playing in the street. We're all standing around talking, and we pick them up at the bus stop, and the moms are around. I'm standing outside at the mailbox, and Teresa, who lived down the street, she was a character. We had so much fun. She's kind of quirky, kind of weird, And so we're standing at the mailbox, and I have this stray cat that the kids fed ham and Cheetos to one Easter, and now I have a cat. So she's just always been around. She's very small. She's looks like the biggest mutt you'd ever see in your life. She's got like a tabby and a calico and a black cat. She's got every color, and she's kind of got. It's not like the soft fur. It's kind of like nappy fur. Okay, I'm like, you probably there's got some raccoon in there. I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, when I saw the cat, I was like, you are the ugliest cat I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to have to feed you. Nobody's going to adopt you. Okay? You're home for good. So I'm standing there at the mailbox and I'm talking to Teresa, and the cat walks by. And she looks down at this cat, who I thought was the ugliest cat ever. And she says, "Who is that?" And I said, "That's Peanut." What a beautiful cat. I'm like, and because I was such good friends with Teresa, and because I respected her opinion, then I saw it. I'm like, wow, she is a beautiful cat. Absolutely beautiful cat. I never even saw it before, because my idea what a beautiful animal looked like was like, sleek lines, definite color. The colors didn't bleed. You had like either striped or spotted, or, my idea of beautiful was different than hers. I didn't see it until somebody that I respected saw it, and then it became my reality that I now had a beautiful cat. And that's just how it works. You watch a movie with some guy you like, okay, or some actor you like, or you get you like somebody's music, and then they will use that person to get everybody to fall in love with this person, and then they'll put them out there with the programming. That's what they do politically. That's what they do with everything. Somebody comes out and starts supporting, I don't know, abortion or a certain candidate or liberal ideas, things like that. And now and you don't really believe that, but then you're saying, well, maybe I'm wrong. That's how it works. You chose to see the ugly. You chose to see the beauty. You chose to believe the programming or the truth. Free will. Every step of the way, you have free will. Every step of the way. Whether you choose to stay with somebody, whether you choose to love somebody, whether you choose to give up on somebody, whether you choose to love yourself, the way you choose to see yourself, that's a big one. It's like, well, society says that the amount of, how much I weigh or the size that I am, or it's not pretty. That's not okay. It's not healthy. They've gone so far to say it's not healthy. Like, first of all, neither is being real thin. What are you going to do when you get really sick and you can't eat? You're going to die? Listen, I will survive. All right? I've always had a little bit on. So, not bad. It's there. Take it on, put it on, take it off, But you're actually you're healthier if you have a little bit on. Especially if you're older. You start getting into senior years, you're going to want to have a little bit on, because you could get sick and get too skinny, too frail. Just saying. But society's idea of what is beautiful has changed over and over and over again. And if suddenly somebody came out and decided that, I don't know, something ridiculous was beautiful, like shaving a patch of your hair right here. Let's just say that. That's what they want you to do. Shave a patch of your hair right there, and that is beautiful. And then everybody started doing it. And then they look at somebody who doesn't have a patch of hair shaved right there, and they're like, yeah, still got the hair right there. Not attractive. See how ridiculous it is? It is ridiculous, but it's not, because we are all housed within the body of God. We are all creating our reality. We are all deciding what is okay, what is not okay. We are choosing what to like, what not to like, how to experience everything. Let's start using that to our advantage and create more peace, more healing, more happiness in our own lives right now. Another thing. What time is it? All right. Okay. I was thinking about, I don't know about that. That's not quite ready. That theory's not quite ready. But like, we just have to create it, allow it. Most of the time when you can't relax, anxiety is an overabundance of fear, unless you've got some kind of physical problem happening with your adrenaline input and output. A lot of the major problems are too much of something. Too much fear, too much stress, too much worry. My Nana, she used to say, was an old saying. It was, it's kind of like a little bit of everything. Maintain a balance. Like, don't eat too much of anything, or don't drink. You can have a little bit of everything, is what she'd say. She'd take these little bites of stuff, not these big bites, and eat these large amounts. She'd say, oh, we can have a little bit of that. A little sliver of pie, or whatever it was. Everything in moderation. So let's remove the can't words in our mind. I was going to tell you something else, but I don't want to get out. It's going to throw me off on a whole. I'm not done with that theory yet. That way of thinking. I have an idea. I have to think about it more. So right now, let's do the warm and fuzzies exercise. Try this when you have time, and just keep going back to it whenever you remember. Because you're going to take a vacation from worry when you do that, a vacation from fear, a vacation from misery, a vacation from depression. And when you stop and remove move those for that moment, or however many moments that you do that, you're pulling all the twigs and the leaves out of your pipe that is that stream of life force energy, God's light to you. And that is when the body heals. Most of the time, we never let ourselves relax. Let yourself relax. When the body is in a stress mode, it is busy, it thinks something's wrong, it focuses all its energy on your internal organs to keep you alive. It braces for impact. It's not working on the way you look at anything not essential. Okay? It takes more energy from you to be sad, mad, depressed, angry, scared than it does to be at peace. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it. Go ahead and think like a child when it comes to this, when it comes to your own healing. Okay? And create it. When we see this light in us, we are going to then see if you have a diseased organ, if you got a bad kidney, see it new. See it healed. If you got a rash on your arm, see it gone. If there are cancer cells in your body, see them disintegrate when the light gets really bright. That's all I do in the healings. And I have been more successful in healing that in people than anything. A successful vehicle, you know what I mean? All right. Warm and fuzzy exercise. Thoughts of the day. We have to do the work. It is not hard. It is not hard. Everybody's like got all these processes. Oh my God, I have to like get rid of all my shadows, and I got to, everything's a mirror, and they listen to all these people to come up with all these ways. It's not. It's simple. It's simple. I choose to be at peace now, and that is okay. In this moment right now, there is nothing attacking me. There is nothing I have to do. There is nothing I have to be. There really is nobody standing here telling me I'm a loser or a winner or that I have to do something. So in this moment, I choose to be at peace, and I deserve that, and that is okay. And to help myself be at peace, I'm going to think of all the things that I like to do. Whether society says they're bad or good for you, or going to make you fat or not. The experiences, all the memories, all the experiences of everything that you really liked. However small. Like when walking outside when you're a kid and dad just cut the grass and you can smell it. Smells, sensation. Just for me, I'm a Taurus. I'm all about like soft fabrics and pretty things and the way things make me feel and how they look and all that. So I that's what I focus on. The laughter of your children. That was like the biggest joy for me. So far in this entire life, that is the biggest joy for me. That just, I love it. I love it. It just, nothing, it casts everything out. Everything else out. So let's spend some time working on our own healing, taking our own responsibility, making, don't stop doing all the other things that you're doing, to heal something. But join in the effort. Most people feel like their happiness, their peace is owned by everybody else. I could be at peace if I was rich. I could be healed if I get in the bed. But you know what you're creating when you're saying that? The hope for that is great. That is not bad at all. But you know what you might be creating in that instance is holding on to the illness until you get to the med bed. Just decide, I'm going to get in the med bed. Let's see how much of this we can heal before we get there. Let's do that. And be excited about it. Don't listen to anybody else who doesn't believe you. Don't tell them. Nobody has to know what you're doing. That'll eliminate a lot of the doubt that's going to come at you. And never, ever ask or listen to a doctor who tells you how long you have. Ever. Too many times. Doctors are not that good at predicting things. Oh, I say you got 11 months. When did my stepmother die of cancer? Exactly 11 months after he told her that. Why? Because he's that good? Nope. Because she believed it. It's time for the butterflies to come out of their cocoons and take our power back from those who've been using it. And I hope that a lot of you do this. I want to hear about it. If you have wonderful results from doing this, I want emails. Because that's awesome. And I enjoy that. All right, guys. Everything's still on. Everything's positive. And as we look at that, don't focus so much. Don't jump to a place where nothing's happening. Because it didn't happen exactly. Oh, it's supposed to happen between 1 and 3 on this day. Oh, it didn't happen. Nothing's real. Nothing's happening. That's your own disappointment. Okay? It's not true. We're not just, you're the kid in the back seat of the car asking if we're there yet. We're almost there. Okay? All right. I think I have gotten out everything I wanted to say today. Warm and fuzzy exercise. Try it. All right. I will be on. Oh, darn it! Self-promotion. Go to jenniferfallaw.com. Let's see if we have a banner for that. I think I probably do. And I do. Go to jenniferfallaw.com. Right now, if you would like to learn what I do, I'm taking people at private coaching along with video. Well, no. You got to add the private coaching later if you want to do that. But I offer that for people. Private coaching classes. I walk you through the whole thing. Pick up the videos. They're more than half off right now. 9 video classes for interdimensional meditation and psychic development, awareness. peeling back the layers of perception and programming to open up and to receive your own answers, your own healing, things like that. It goes all the way up to the projection of consciousness. In the private classes, I take it all the way up to conscious creation and everything I've learned with that so far. The private classes really have a lot more information than the classes do, the video classes. But right now, if you just want some video classes to learn how to do this kind of meditation, you can go to jenniferfallaw.com. They're $199. Purchase that. Email me after so I have a good email. I will send the classes to you. I am sending out a batch of classes tonight. So if you've been waiting for a good price to get those, I would get those. If you already have the classes at a later date, you just purchased to start up as a student, you purchase 4 one-hour readings, and we schedule them out monthly or bi-weekly. And then I start up a book, evaluate your gifts, tailor-make your teaching to you and what is already present in your life and what you'd like to achieve. Let's see what else we got. I am Fallawsophy on Telegram. You want to be there? Anything about the RV, anything political, anything that I think is relevant, I put up on there. We also have a chat group attached to that, Fallawsophy Chat on Telegram. I believe I have a link on Fallawsophy pinned so that you can join that. All right. Still on our way. All the intel behind the scenes is really positive and good, coming in from all kinds of sources, all directions. That's it. So, thank you for joining me today. Next Sunday night, I'm going to have another big reading show for a couple hours. We're going to do the same thing we did before on Rumble. Jennifer Fallaw. No. Fallawsophy with, I should know what my own channel is. Fallawsophy with Jennifer Fallaw on Rumble is where you want to be. Subscribe, follow, whatever it is. For a while, Sunday nights, we're going to do the free reading shows. And best thing to do is throw in a Rumble rant, because that's what I'm going to like, because people paid, I'm going to definitely get all of those. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Bye.